One of the first things that we're going to look at this semester is what things are important to environmental science, and we're going to create an environmental timeline. So first we need to decide, how do we know what is important to our environmental history? So first of all, some of the things that we're going to cover this year in environmental science is a wide variety of branches. The first is biology. We will look at animals. Study of animals is zoology. Botany, which is the study of plants. Microbiology, we'll look at microorganisms such as bacteria and their impact. And then probably the biggest emphasis that we put in our biology portion of the unit is ecology. We look at how all systems of the earth interact with the living things. Because this course is called Earth and Environmental Science, we'll spend a lot of our time looking at earth science. We'll talk about geology. We'll look at Earth's interior, Earth's surface, how it's changed over the past 4.6 billion years. We'll talk about the processes that have shaped the Earth, like volcanoes, earthquakes, plate tectonics, how rocks and minerals are formed, and how they change over time. Paleontology tells us a lot about Earth's history. We'll look at study of fossils and ancient life. Climatology, we will talk about Earth's atmosphere, look at the layers, the composition, and climate and how our climate is changing. The last branch of earth science that we will spend a little bit of time on is hydrology. The prefix hydro means water, so that's the study of Earth's water resources. That includes both oceanography and freshwater. So we'll spend time talking about river systems, lakes, groundwater, as well as our saltwater ecosystems. Physics is also embedded in our course. We'll talk about engineering, how we use science to make sense of matter and energy, how they are useful to us, how we use our energy resources, also in structures, machines, and products that we use. Chemistry, mainly what we do is biochemistry and geochemistry. The prefix bio means life, like biology is study of life. So biochemistry is the chemistry of living things. Geochemistry, the prefix geo means earth or rock. So we're looking at the chemistry of the materials that the earth is made of. So that's also part of our geology unit. We spend a little bit of time talking about social sciences, geography, which is looking at human population, how we interact with Earth's features, looking at mapping and cartography as well. Anthropology is looking at historical aspects of humankind. Anthro means human, so anthropology would be study of humans. Sociology, looking at the dynamics and statistics related to human population. So when we go to make our environmental timeline in class, I'm going to ask you to take a list of events and decide which have been important in shaping our view and our Earth today on the environment. So some things that you need to keep in mind when you're looking at this list. The first are the aesthetic aspects. What things are beautiful or pleasing? Why might we want to conserve or protect something based on its aesthetic value? We also need to look at the economic value. It always comes back to money. How will it affect jobs? How will it affect economy of our countries? We'll look at comparing our more economically and less economically developed countries and their impact on the environment. We also look at the environmental aspects, just looking at which resources we need to protect and why, how we can protect those resources, and how we can prevent future damage and make sure that we are living sustainably so that our future generations can still enjoy the same resources that we do. We look at the educational aspect. What have we learned from some of these events in our environmental history? How can we share the knowledge and get the word out about some of these issues? Also, what's right or wrong? We look at the ethical and moral aspects when we try to decide, what should we as humans do to protect other species that can't protect themselves? We look at the effect on human health, especially when we get in our pollution unit and we talk about toxicology and the effects of certain pollutants on the human body. Health is probably one of the bigger factors. We want to make sure that what we are doing to our earth protects our health. Recreational. A lot of our resources, especially like our water resources, our mountain ranges, we use for recreation and leisure. So we also need to make sure that we are sustaining those resources as well. We also have learned from our environmental history a deeper understanding of the natural world, how the systems of our earth interact with each other, and how we as humans are interacting with those systems. We also look at how we are maintaining our communities, our cultures, values, and traditions. So some of our environmental events of the past and things we need to plan for the future, we need to keep those things in mind as well. So now in class, what you're going to do with your group are decide what you think are the most important environmental events, people, or laws or acts that have been passed that you want to include on your environmental timeline. So this may include a little bit of research. You'll have to look through the list, pick 10, find out a little bit about those events, and then you're going to place them on the timeline. And we'll talk a little bit more about how to do this in class.